Right, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome in. I'm going to bring Ross in a second here. If you're just joining us, um, welcome to the Infinity Matrix group. And if you're watching us somewhere else, welcome to the stream today. Our stream is today's stream is we're gonna align your vibrational energy to penetrate the Infinity Matrix and actually start to code the reality you desire. So you're going to want to stick around. And we got some really cool stuff to cover. And let me just bring Ross in here. And while I'm doing that, if you can just go ahead and tell us, I'm going to do. Oh, we got some new stuff in the software here. So let me just play around. Hold on. Okay, so where is that? This one here. Okay, go ahead and tell us where you're watching from. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna bring Ross in here in the meantime. Okay.
What are you finagling around with the software?
Well, they got this little thing on the some little widgets, like so I can throw in little questions like where are you watching from. So instead of me having right? So go ahead and let us know where in the world you come from, and if it's your just type in the comments whatever country and city, even if you've been on the call before, again, we just like to hear again. Afternoon, Jolene, and where you calling from? Where you coming in from? And we love to hear the location, so we know that we want to. Because what I do is when I see all the different locations, I actually mentally get these little an image of a map of the world with little light bulbs going on. Oh wow! So for me, it's really quite visual, and so my matrix kind of lights up quite a bit that way. So nice. Austria, Ohio, Oregon, nice. Quebec, Canada. Wow. Slovenia.
Slovenia. Whoa.
That's
I think that's our first one.
Yeah. Wokingham, UK. Vienna. Nice. Edinburgh, Scotland. I'd do a Scottish accent, but I don't have one.
Yeah,
Seems
I
like
would
everybody
too, but
has
then we would lose Scotland.
I certainly don't. Los Angeles, USA, Alabama, Yorkshire, UK. Nice. Good to see everybody popping in. Also, if it's your first time, let's see some hashtag first time in there so we know that it's your first time coming in and we can greet you properly and welcome you properly. If you've been here, if you're a regular, go ahead and type hashtag hooked on hacking. That way, again, we can know that you're a regular and give you your appropriate props for that. And if you're watching this in the replay, yes, there will be a replay, but the replay will only be on the Infinity Matrix group. So if you're not a part of that, make sure you do that. And if you are jumping in on a replay, type hashtag replay, because that also flags Ross and I to kind of come back and look at if you have any comments or stuff, right, so we can respond to it. We really do our best to kind of get to even the replay people, because we know that we don't hit everybody's time zone. We totally get that. But we love to hear when you're doing the replays. And again, the replays are only in the Infinity Matrix group. So if you're not a part of that yet, please go ahead and head over there and join. Let me throw the link in here. Let me switch out some other things. I'll take that one out and let's put this one in. So the Infinity Matrix group, right there. And today it should be showing on the bottom. Do you see it this week, Ross?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So the link is on the bottom there, facebook.com/groups/the Infinity Matrix. If you're not already a part of the group, please join. It's going to be even more important starting next week, and we'll talk about why later in the broadcast today. So starting next week, if you're not a part of the group, you're going to miss out on some stuff. And so please head over there and just answer the 3 questions. It gives you the opportunity to be part of our VIP list, which is an even higher level of gifts and stuff that we give out and that you'll get access to. And so let's see some first timers. Okay, so Patsy, welcome aboard.
Hey.
Checking in. Again, today's stream, we're talking about the vibrational frequency that you have and how to align that to get to create the code, the reality that you want. And we got some really great stuff coming. I know, we start every week with mentioning that we love to hear the comments that you guys tell us on the page and the group and wherever you're watching in the comment section, because we really do go through them all. And every week there's a few that pop out and we're like, oh my gosh, we got to share that with everybody. And some weeks there's too many, so we just got to pick a couple. And so we try to stick it consistently to a couple. And so let's hear about some of the great comments that came in over last week there, Ross.
I mean, it's been great. So Mary says, I'm blown away. This makes me love you both and the Matrix even more. So that's always great. Thank you, Mary. And Howard shares, I've needed this for a long time. I'm so glad I came across you, or perhaps I was guided. Regardless, I'm here now and eager to learn. And I really like the way he added that. Perhaps I was guided, and because we really believe in that type of synchronicity. Sometimes we just appear because it's time.
Yeah, more often than not, I would say that is what happens. I think what happens is, which aligns with our call, what happens is your frequency of your vibration shifts to the point where the information you need for your life to evolve
Correct.
shows up, right? So it's not coincidental that you came across our link, or someone shared it to you, or that that you were searching the net on something about the Matrix, and then all of a sudden you get on Facebook and all. It's not coincidence. Yes, there is the Facebook algorithm. I get all that, but but I also believe that it's more about you sending out those signals. If you think of it really on a base level, just you typing in those specific words, you're actually sending out a message to the Matrix to say, hey, this is the frequency of stuff, of reality that I'm interested in tapping into. And so then it starts to come more and more to you, right? So I don't think it's just you've been guided. It's more so that you found it, and then it just kind of showed up. So it's more of an attracting to you, as opposed to you that it's randomly showing up. It doesn't happen that way.
That's true.
Yeah.
And sometimes with today's technology, you might think that, but if you really, once you're really honed in to your vibrational energy and what you're actually looking for and what you're putting out there, you'll find that these are not random. Yeah. A lot of the things that are falling into place in your life simply aren't random. And a lot of us like, oh God, what a coincidence. It's like, no.
Yeah. So what you should be saying is, oh, what an interesting synchronous vibration.
Exactly.
Right? Because that's really what happens. You're synchronistically falling in alignment with a vibration that matches what you put out to, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, because we got vibrations that are happening on all different levels, right? And so let's jump into it today, Ross, because like you said,
we got a lot to cover.
This could be a day conversation. So
yeah. I think it might be. Okay, yeah. So I mean, let's we'll just start with just the title. It says aligning your vibrational energy to penetrate the infinity matrix and code the reality you desire. How does vibrational energy relate to the infinity matrix? And what needs to happen to allow one to code their reality? So can that be done? And like so many other things in life, it can be hacked. And that's what we're going to talk about. And for the record, our brains exploded trying to figure out the best way to distill this down into 1 hour. The good news is that we've already set a lot of the groundwork for most of you in previous live streams. And as we're progressing in this, we'll kind of refer back to those specific live streams, which are available on the group in the units section. So make notes. So there are greater and greater opportunities for acceleration in your lives, our lives, greater and greater opportunities for expansion in these times of change. And now that our collective mass conscious reality is beginning to gain more momentum in the direction of the reality you prefer, more opportunity to choose and manifest the individual personal realities that each and every one of you say you prefer. So let's hack this, okay? So, have you ever been somewhere, and I'm talking locational, have you ever been somewhere that just felt good? Okay, I'm not talking about, oh, we got to go jet skiing or anything like that. You just got there and you're just like, wow, this just feels good. You couldn't put your finger on it, but everything seemed to be in balance with you. Whether it be on a vacation or visiting a special place in the forest, you just loved going there. It felt good. It vibed. It resonated with you. Well, this is more and more available to each and every one of you because the inertia, because of the momentum of the mass conscious reality, you must now understand that to some degree there are places, spots, and locations that are also going to increase in their frequency, in their vibration, and going to tune their frequency to specific levels that are representative of being more conductive and more conducive. And by being in those areas and allowing your energy to merge with the energy of the location, this is how we start coding your reality. So there's so much to this. When your resonance frequency merges and harmonizes with the resonance frequency in this particular location, you begin ramping up, and by putting yourself in the location that energizes you, you can then amplify your ability to manifest what it is that you prefer. You can accelerate your ability by taking advantage of that accelerative energy in any, repeat, in any given spot you are energetically attracted to. It doesn't have to be on the mount. It doesn't have to be in the valley. It's different for everybody. It's your resonance. So now pay attention and listen really, really closely. This is the time for each and every one of you to allow yourselves to know this part of the coding or design of what you call your ideal reality, the ideal life. The location must be included. This is where the plans are transmuted to the matrix. They're intensified. So you can take this to the multidimensional level and let you know that location is not really a place in which you exist. Location is a part of the equation of who and what you are, who and what an object is. It is part of the variable, the equation, the vibrational frequency equation of an object, person, place, or thing in that sense. So, but this will be for kind of a later intensive trainings that we've got planned
Yeah.
when
So
time is
so
much more abundant.
the reality equation is location, or in other words, space with energy and time allows for matter to exist, right?
Yes. Okay. So my
Yeah.
brain just exploded again.
Yeah, and we just
Um,
have to remember that even time is a construct that's relative to.
that's exactly. So it's part of the equation, but we're going to keep this to a simpler format for today because, as I said, we just don't have the time to go delve that deep. But we've got some intensive programs that are on the horizon that we're going to go really deep into these. So we want to let you know and let you go from preconceived ideas of this or that locations. In other words, let go of the movie images, the book definitions, which are all other people's ideals. This is your place. For example, I can take you to one of my places, or Gary could, but chances are it won't have the same effect on you because it resonates a vibration that's in tune to me. Yours might be 3 feet away, or 3 miles away, or 3,000 miles away because it's yours. Location is not really separate from who and what you are at any given moment because space and time are really your projections, your illusions. Space and time actually simply exist within our consciousness, and you project it out to the infinity matrix. In a sense, space and time are they're appearing around you and making it seem as if you exist in a location. But location is actually within you, not you within it. So location is an important part of the equation of what you deem yourself to be, of what you identify and define yourself to be. We spoke about the importance of location. Gary, was it live stream two?
Yeah, I think
The four W's, I believe it is. So
yeah.
go back to live stream two, the four W's, again on the group page, and we Gary's got he created a cool hack for that. So go back and check that out. But that's where again it's going to keep popping up in a lot of our trainings. So if you are in a location that is less conducive to your energy, or conversely, if you are in a location that is specifically not conducive to your preference, to your energy, you will know yourself to be you could be creating a countermanding frequency, a countermanding resonance. So in other words, you could cancel each other out. It's kind of your positive and your negative. You know, you put the two together, if they're equal frequencies, they're going to cancel out. So in most cases the vibrational energy will be reduced, but we're hacking, and hackers want optimization. It's more important than ever to understand that location is a part of the definition of who you are. And if you find yourself being attracted to a particular place, there's a reason for it. By allowing yourself to flow with that attraction, by aligning with that place and not talking yourself out of being there, you'll then give yourself an opportunity to see how much farther, how much faster you can go by compounding and amplifying and magnifying all the frequencies in your life and in your reality that are representative of the frequency of your preference. Very, very important. You guys, when you do the replay, and I hope all of you do, so you really, really understand this. So to ignore the place that represents your highest joy, your highest energy, your greatest creativity, your strongest attraction, to give yourself away from that is, in some cases, it's a denial of a part of who and what you are. Did I say joy? Where have we heard that one before? I think we covered that in live stream 13. So who's watched that? Who's seen the live stream on joy? Because this is the second part. Just give me a thumbs up down below. Because sometimes a place, a circumstance will attract you like no other, if only to get you moving. Not because you're supposed to remain there or continue to do that thing, but only to get you moving. Because sometimes getting from point A to point B is not a straight line. Sometimes what you may think are roadblocks or detours are simply your higher mind rerouting the real journey to your true destination. So many of us have been trained to fragment our consciousness in such a way that we don't allow ourselves to really know what might be best. And so you will, in effect, trick yourself by putting a lot of excitement and energy in a certain direction or on a certain thing and making it very specific just so that it will lure you, magnetize you in that direction. Not because that is the thing that you need to wind up doing for the rest of your life, but only because that is the direction in which you need to move to put you in the right place and the right time. Perhaps for something else that will come along. I mean, the Infinity Matrix is so cool. It's going to guide you. You're not going to maybe understand at the time, but you're being guided. So very often it's difficult for you to tell the difference at first, but the point is that you don't have to know the difference as long as you are following your highest joy. There's that word again. It's so magic. No matter what it is, you can rest assured that if you enter it and act on it with the power of true emotion and without expectations, then you will be in the proper state of mind to receive whatever else might come along and will be representative of the direction of your joy. You will see then, if you hold on to the idea of zero expectations, that it will flow and you will move things and circumstances and opportunities will arrange themselves to make it easier for you to create the path of least resistance, to show you how your life can be an explosion of synchronicity. When and where, it might just be the places you least expected. So understand that your life can become a continuous series of surprises. And in that momentum, you will find the stability and the security and the happiness and the safety that you actually require. So allow yourself to be magnetized. Allow yourself to explore the idea of what place has attracted you. And don't get in your way. Don't put conditions on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you want to be like a hound dog, right? You want to sniff it out. You want to sniff out joy in your life and always follow that scent.
yeah, I don't have an image for that one because I'm
Yeah.
so. Okay, so from now on, we want you to avoid I can't and what if. Those are roadblocks. Allow yourself to see what you can do about it. You may be surprised that you are simply willing to be open. How many actions you can take in that direction if you would only get out of your own way and rearrange your own definitions. We've talked about that before, so that you can see you're so much more capable of creating the reality that you prefer, more capable than you have thought you ever were. So before I bring Gary on a side note, now that the Schumann resonance seems to be steadily increasing across the globe, it gives us an indication that all spectrums of vibrational energy are increasing as well. So let's hop on the reality train and let's go co-create and coexist together.
Hey Ross, do you want to give those who don't know just a quick summary of what the Schumann resonance is? Because
So,
I actually may refer to it a little bit later on, but also I
okay,
think it's a topic that we can come back to quite a bit in
yeah,
future streams. So
that's a really good question. I mean, I actually made a note that I want to actually bring an expert in on the Schumann resonance too. So, the Schumann resonance is really a compilation. It's a compilation of all these different energy structures that affect us as a planetary species. So it's not just humans; it's every living thing. but it's a measurement of magnetic energy. It's a measurement of solar energy. It's a measurement of the Earth's vibrational energy. All of this is combined,
Yeah.
and all of this affects us. It affects every living being on the planet. It affects the birds. It affects the ants. It affects the earthworms. Everything makes some sort of change in its habits or its movements based on what is happening in this human resident. We don't know. I mean, we can feel it. There are some people who are so in tune to it, and they can say there's been a shift. I sensed it a few times, especially I think about 4 weeks ago. There was a big shift for one day when world events happen, you know, positive or negative. When world events happen, um, the chart that measured it, I think it's schumannresonance.org. You can see it on a daily basis. We just had a big shift 2 days ago, but it affects that. It measures like something has changed. Now, this can be negative energy or positive energy. So don't misconstrue this. Um, and that's where Gary and I have talked about the infinity matrix. It just reads the code. Okay, it can be positive, it can be negative. It just reads what you're putting out, and
Yeah,
it will
it's
match that.
non-judgmental, right? It's
Exactly, exactly.
it doesn't have a
And
preference. It just what it gets is what it puts back out, which is one of
exa-
the things that we project. What you put out is what you get back, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of our biological functions are reactive to, again, what's happening on the planet and in the space that the planet takes up. So that's why a lot of these other energies that are coming from outside of our sphere and
Yeah.
such can affect us as well.
Yeah, well,
And
I mean, we can go. That's a rabbit hole we can jump into, and I think that
big rabbit hole.
we are just so those of you that are are here, we are going to do a watch party for this again tomorrow in the group. So again, if you're not in the group, you won't get access to this, but we're going to do the watch party again in the group where we'll all watch this together again. And if you have any additional questions or want to dive deeper into any of these things, we'll be able to chat about it and actually interact on the chat while the watch party is going on. So Ross and I will be there for that. Same time tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so you can jump on to kind of watch
Yeah.
that watch party at that time in the group, but you need to join the group for that, right?
Yeah, this is kind of the precursor to the program we were talking about before, where we're going to put what we're calling Infinity Plus. This
Yeah.
is kind of the precursor to it. It might just actually be, depending on how it works out, it might just be it.
Yeah.
But we want to so we're not focused on putting or presenting to you. We're just focused on we have the time to be literally answering questions.
And to be
So
interacting with you guys
and
live.
interacting
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't see our faces except for the faces that you see today.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So Barbara said the group. So Barbara, it's running down the bottom here on the ticker tape here. So it's facebook.com/groups/ the Infinity Matrix. Please make sure you answer the questions to enter into, otherwise the system will reject you. And starting on Monday, we are actually shifting it over to a private group, which means it can't be searched through the Facebook algorithm, and only people that get exposed to our content get in there. The reason is because we're finding people are just running across it and thinking, oh, what a cool group, and just jumping in. We want people in that group to be people that are serious about hacking the Infinity Matrix and implementing the stuff we're teaching them. We're not interested in people that are just want to watch from the sides.
Yeah,
Right?
and also, I mean, one of the other things, a benefit for us, and actually for you as well, is that, you know, as hard as we try to keep things clean and filtered out, spammers get in, and all of a sudden you're getting these posts about this or that, and we're just like, what does this have to do with anything? This is just somebody trying to, they know they're going to get kicked out, and such. But they're like, okay, I got one day to, try and bring in more customers, and we want to get away from that. So everybody stays focused on the message that we're trying to deliver to everyone.
Absolutely, Julian, you got it right. It stops the spamming, and that's really, we've been noticing more and more of that as we're growing. We've grown pretty rapidly in the membership. I mean, we're creeping up on 6,000 in less than 6 months. So so as you can imagine, the logistics of it is getting crazy with people that are just kind of wanting to take advantage of that number. And we really want to be focused on serving the group as opposed to monitoring the group, right?
Right. And that just takes time away from us, because Gary and I do this ourselves. We don't have assistants and all that kind of stuff that we, dole out this work to. We do all this ourselves, and we want to spend time on your issues and trying to build you up, and not deal with, hey, listen, you can't be doing this, et cetera, et cetera. So, so she hit it on the head. So spamming.
And Maniam said, to type Infinity Matrix in the Facebook search bar. You can do that until Monday. When we go to a private group, you will not be able to find it that way. Okay, you'll have to type in the link or be invited by either a member or Ross and I to get into that group as of Monday. That also allows us to then also now, starting next month, really start to hone in on group specific and group exclusive content. And so that's why we've been pushing for people to jump in and jump on the group. And then the VIPs will get a different experience, slightly different from those that are in the group, because VIP are for people that they're like ready to hack as much as possible and really live the principles and stuff that we're teaching. So,
Gary, do we want to talk to a little bit about the page?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we actually have created an Infinity Matrix page, and it's kind of an open book. We don't really post there at this particular point, so we will start doing some posting, but it's not going to have access to the live streams, or we're not going to really do a lot of question and answering type of things. It's not going to be nearly as intensive as the group, but it will exist. So if you do put Infinity Matrix in, it will the page will show up, but just not the group. And then and to a certain degree, it's like, well, if you like the page, then you can go there and see some of the stuff that's there. And then if you really want to go more deep into what we're offering here, then you can make the change to the group. But the group's where it's at. It really is.
Absolutely. It doesn't mean we won't.
This is our baby.
Yeah, it doesn't mean these content here on the places you're seeing, because we like the group and the crowd that we attract from there as well. But there's going to be group specific and group exclusive content outside of our regular Thursday lives. Okay, so and so the first part of that, like Ross said, is what we call Infinity Plus, which is like kind of like it's like the post show, right, where we're going to do a watch party. And so it's tomorrow morning for our time, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. In the group, look for the watch party post and then join in that. The watch party will start at 9 a.m. and then Ross and I will be accessible to respond directly and instantly in the chat as the stream is going on. So if stuff comes up, we can do that.
Exactly.
All right.
Cool.
How much is VIP? Nothing. VIP is free. All you got to do is answer the third question as you enter in. Amazing, thank you. Yeah. Okay, we're not done yet. That just happened. That rabbit hole just happened. So I got some really cool stuff for you. So Ross said, jump on the on the reality train, and I'm saying, hop on, hold on tight, and scream, choo choo.
We just lost half our audience. What the hell had to happen now?
Yeah, right. So the biggest challenge with discussing vibrational energy is that it isn't that it's intangible, right? It's not something you can pour into a cup or a bucket and measure it, right? But yet we all know it exists, and we all have experienced it in some way, shape, or form. Right? There are many different what we call matrix skeleton keys that our soul keeps dangling in front of us for when we choose to open up portals of transformation. Right? and they come in all kinds of different forms. The thing is that if we're not aligned vibrationally with the things we desire, then those keys always remain out of reach, and you never seem to get what it is you actually want. A teacher of mine, and I wanted to grab the image for it, and I didn't get a chance to upload it. So let me just read a really great quote. Is energy is everything, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. And that's from one of my teachers and Ross's teachers. His name is Bashar, right? So if there's any Bashar fans out there, type hashtag Bashar, because, I mean, that's like we're so in alignment with Bashar's teachings. So to play, I want you to play this mental game with me. So now I can play with the image. We're also going to pop you out and bring an image.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so I want you to play. All right, get that. Play this mental game with me for a minute. Okay, imagine that we are in this virtual reality. Okay, which isn't really so virtual. Hey, I got some Bashar buddies out there. Yo, awesome! I love that. Of course, we would attract Bashar crowd. Okay, so play this imaginary and imagine with this, this virtual reality game with me. Okay, imagine that all around you, right, like any direction you can think of or look into, right, that there were invisible portals to altered realities for both growth side of reality and destructive side of reality. So they're not, there's not just all, rainbows and unicorns, because that's, but they exist too, right? And you are smack dab in the middle of it all. And moment by moment, the full sum of who you are vibrates a certain frequency. Okay, that frequency acts like a radio wave searching for a receiver to play out your reality. Okay, each of the portals of reality, okay, they exist already. So whatever reality you desire, it already exists. It's not that you've got to create it. What you need to do is you need to match the vibration and the frequency so that you start to experience it, because it already exists. Everything happens in the now. Everything. For all time and space, it all happens in the now. So in the now, every possible potential is there. And that's what we call, that's where we keep talking about getting to this choice convergence point. At that choice convergence point, it's kind of like this. This virtual reality game where you're at the center and you're kind of like, okay, I'm at choice point here, right? Now, the vibration that I want, I need to raise it, and then that reality then starts to come to me, right? That starts to become a part of what I experience, right? Remember, and this is key, all right? Remember, you always resonate a frequency of some kind. It's not something you got to learn to do or need to go to a course. You don't have to learn how to resonate. It's what we do, right? Which is the good news, right? You don't have to. The challenge is that if you're not having the reality you desire, how do you shift? How do you change? How do you adjust your frequency so that you do get those experiences that you want? So you do get to experience the matrix reality that you choose, right? And that's what all these micro hacks, if you go all the way back to the first one we did October 1st, you'll see that all of these micro hacks are designed to do just that. Every micro hack that you practice helps you to make those refinements, those adjustments, those tunings, so that the radio frequency that you want to spread out to find that radio station is fine-tuned and in alignment with your true, authentic self. right? So to align with your deepest purpose, because it's when those two things are in complete alignment that miracles can really happen, right? And I believe it was Bashar that I heard this from. I'm pretty sure it was Bashar. And this is totally paraphrasing because it just came to me. But you know, the way you know that you've made a big shift in your reality, right? It shows up as a miracle, because what happens is that miracle is such a shift from the reality you were to the reality you prefer, that it's like, wow, that how could that possibly it kind of blows your paradigm, right? So follow your excitement in every moment that you can. Follow it as completely as you are capable of doing it until something else shows up that's even more exciting for you to do. And then follow that excitement without any, and you know, Ross talked about it earlier, it's without any attachment to the outcome. You need to let that piece go, because if you have an attachment to the outcome, that's your physical mind, brain, consciousness, belief systems. That's all that stuff mixed in there, which is not the greatness of who you are, right? Which we talked about last week, right? You know, so the do it because it's what you're passionate about, and for no other reason. And then all the other things will just start to work itself out. Okay? All those great feelings of joy and excitement and passion and love are all like, it's like the Schumann resonance of your being, right? They all kind of mix together to create this this resonance, this frequency. And when you feel those emotions and you do things to nurture them, they become more in alignment with the magnificence that you are. And we already talked about last week. We know that no matter how great you think you are, you're still greater than that. Okay. And if you didn't catch last week's episode 17, go ahead and catch the replay under the units section in the group. That's where all the replays are at. Okay. And then you'll get what I mean by that, right? So the practice now is to live more and more of your experience in the infinity matrix in those nourishing states. And when you do, you magnetize all the forces of abundance in your reality. And so for a refresher, go back and watch replay episode 11, I believe it is, right? Where we're talking about the abundance, right? Your relationship with abundance. You'll find that when you're doing that, when you're following your excitement, you're practicing living more and more from that experience of those joyful, nourishing states, that your imagination, which is one of those abundance bubbles that we talked about, right? Your imagination becomes boundless, right? Your life becomes a steady stream of synchronistic events, which is, synchronicity is another one of those things we talked about for abundance, right? The exact resources that you need aligned up with, and the exact resources that others need to be aligned up with, creates opportunities for exchange much more frequently. Right? And then every moment presents blessings, gifts, it beyond belief. And all the money, right, the financial part of it that you need to do the things you need will just show up. It's kind of bizarre because we haven't been conditioned or trained to think that way or to experience things that way until you practice it and it becomes the norm. Right? The natural order of things is miracles. It's not the oh, that's out of the norm. That is the natural, but we've been conditioned, through a wide range of different things to think that it has to be this certain special set of circumstances. Hey, miracles are happening all the time. the mere fact that we have and you know, in my matrix, I see the map, and I talked about all those pockets of light that showed up when you all typed in your locations. The mere fact that I can sit here just outside Vancouver, Canada, and talk to all of you, oh my gosh, what a miracle. Right? And to share the vibration and frequency that I'm feeling from the energy that I'm getting just from the screen. You know, it's I mean, you know, hopefully you guys are sensing that when Ross and I get on here, our vibration rises, but it's not because our vibration is necessarily always at these levels. It's because we're feeding off the energy we're getting back from you, and that's why the interaction and the comment, it lets us know that there's a collective vibration that's rising. There's a collective consciousness that's in alignment. Right? So that's the ultimate hack. Living from the core of who you are at the fullest you possibly can for as long as you're able to. Okay, so let me say that again. The ultimate hack. I mean, if you could do this, you could probably jump on here and start teaching with us. Okay, right? Because we're still working on it. You know, so the ultimate hack, living from the core of who you are at the fullest possible, the fullest you possibly can, for as long as you're able to. Now, imagine all the people you know, like in your circle of influence, right? Imagine all of those people doing exactly the same thing, but for their passion, for their purpose. Imagine that, right? And so imagine now you've got your vibration of, you know, radiating, and then all these other like-minded, but yet still their individual soul gifts and whatever is showing up, and coming to the party, right? Right? And then imagine an entire community doing that, right? And then imagine communities all around the planet. Which again goes back to when you guys are typing in where you're from, that's what I'm seeing. So when I'm seeing these little light bulbs on the map for me of the locations you guys say, I see little communities, pockets of community, because I know that you're not a sole individual being who doesn't have any contact with. You're the impact, the ripple that you have, the light that you shine from hacking, and even just being exposed to the information that we're sharing and the type of information we share. Right? It creates that light, which will start to then attract even more light of that. And so then those little pockets of light get bigger and bigger. Right? So when I see, and that's why I say, if you've been on the stream and you've been on here regular more than once, let us know where you're, because then if I see 5, 6, 7 different people coming from, you know, Manchester, then Manchester for me in my mind gets actually a little brighter. Right? From, you know, Regina, Saskatchewan, Darcy just typed in, you know, from there, I see Regina now. Okay, wow, you know, and I know Regina doesn't have a lot of people in there, but so that little light is going to impact a great amount of people, you know, in that area. Right? So, so that's really what we're going for. We want to have it so we have these pockets and communities around the planet that are all striving to live life from the core of who you individually are. Not like someone else, not because of someone else, not because of something. It's you're tapping into your core. Right? You know, in living that the fullest you possibly can for as long as you're able to. That's the goal ultimately. Nice. We got Italy in the house. We got a few more coming in there. Good. Jumping in. Nice. So 30, Portugal. Nice. Alberta. Great. Awesome. Okay. So 5 hacks you can start today to align your vibrational frequency. I'm going to go through, and there's simple things. And again, it's starting small, taking baby steps. These Thursday live streams aren't to overload you. They're to kind of give you a taste. It's kind of, think of the Thursdays as coming to a buffet table and getting to sample all the different elements of what's there. Right? And then when we do the things, the additional things on the in the group, and when we do, for example, which I can just real quick talk about here, when we I talked about last week, we are planning to do, and we when we switch over to the private group element on the group, to the private status, we'll be giving more and more of the details of this. But we are putting together we're going to be doing a 7-day quest to hack success in 2021. So it's a 7-day challenge to really level up your reality, to upgrade your reality, if you will. Right? It's called the Success Hack Framework for Infinity. Okay, so it's a 7-day quest. And we got some really cool stuff on there. And this is where, in those types of things, that's when you're no longer at the buffet where you're doing samplers. You're now going in and taking pieces of that elements of that meal and really diving into the real nourishment of it, the nutrients of it, the how it's going to benefit you, why you need to really explore that more and get the most out of it. Okay. We'll each day is going to focus on a different thing. The first day, I'll talk about that right now, is going to be about the framework of reality. So we're talking about the fundamentals, what it is that's creating and making your reality. Because if you don't understand that, how can you hack it? Right? And then when you understand the framework, then we're going to talk on day one. We're going to talk about who's at your ground zero. Like who shows up, that beingness, who shows up at your ground zero, and then how to fine tune, tweak that so that that your true authentic self shows up there more consistently than not, right? And that's where we started off from. So those are huge topics, but we got some really cool stuff and some exercises and drills and some fun stuff we plan in there for you on that. And then that's day one, and we got 6 other days of really amazing stuff. Which again we'll talk more about. We just wanted to make sure the group shifted over and we took care of the logistics of switching it over to private, and we'll give you more details on that, both in these streams as well as on the pages. We'll be letting people know about how they can qualify to be a part of that, because it's not for everybody. So we want to make sure that we're gonna almost like an online interview, if you will, to make sure that it's right for you, right? We're figuring out the details of how we get that group of people on there, and how many we want to have on there, right? So hack number 1, right? And these again, just to align to shift, align, and adjust your vibrational frequency. First thing is step 1 is, or number 1, not really step because there's not an order to these. So number 1 is expose and surround yourself with more light. Remember, you are light. You are love. So by exposing yourself and surrounding yourself with sunshine, vibrant colors, uplifting, radiant people, you'll be feeding that vibration and making it stronger. Okay? Connect, is number 2, connect with your environment. Right? Connect with your environment and take care of it. Keep it clean, uncluttered. Add things like crystals, rocks, plants, animals that you feel connected to in your environment. These things will start to raise your vibration. Right? Number 3, quiet your mind, still your body for 3 minutes every day, at least. And in those 3 minutes, reflect on the things that you're passionate about. Things that bring you joy, things that make the molecules in your body just tingle and wake up and dance, right? And then set out, after the 3 minutes is done, set out to pursue those as much as you can to the best of your capacity until you can't anymore. Number 4, nourish your body, right? It's a vessel. So start to take care of it with what you put into it. And start with, and again, this is a whole different set of topics we could talk on, but start with water, right? Remove, liquid toxins like soda pop, excessive alcohol, excessive coffee, sugar-filled juices, that kind of stuff. Because those dampen your energy. right? They suppress your energy. Water is a critical conductor of energy. And since we're approximately 70%, and the numbers change, right? 70, 80, or anyway, 65, whatever, right? We're 70% water in our body, right? A good percentage of our body is water because we're conductors of energy, right? Would also be a good time, to check up on, because we're going to, again, this is something we want to add in at some point too, check up on research of Dr. Masaru Emoto, right? Because that's a whole topic for another stream. But Dr. Masaru Emoto, right? So it's Emoto, Dr. Emoto, and the stuff he's doing on crystals and water and that kind of stuff. It's mind-blowing stuff, right? So, and that'll show you the importance of why you need to be aware of the quality of the water, as well as the amount of water you need to have in your body, right? And then number 5, look for geometric symbols in your world, and look at them. Let them impress upon your body, mind, and spirit, because those geometric symbols, the sacred geometry, they hold their own type of energy, right? And as you become more in alignment with your purest essence, the more you'll be able to sense the vibrational frequency of geometry, right? Sacred geometry in the world around you. Right. So those are the 5 simple things you can do, any or all of them. And so there you have it for the hack today. We really could go in for a few more hours on this topic and all the different elements of aligning your vibrational energy. But it's doing these things that helps you to penetrate the infinity matrix code and code the reality you desire. Let me bring Ross back in, and then I'm going to do a quick review, and then we'll wrap it up here. Let me just switch that out, and let me get that out. There we go.
There we go.
All right. So a quick recap on the 5. All right. So number 1, get more light in your life. Number 2, connect with environmental energies. Number 3, reflect on your passion and purpose for 3 minutes a day, and then actively head out to pursue those. All right. Number 4, nourish your body. All right. Starting with water. Right. If you're going to start with anything, water is the one you want to start with. And
that's
if
very
you're
true.
doing it, then you can elevate to the next level of nourishing your body. So, but at least start with water. And if you're doing water, do more. Okay. Okay. And then 5, impress sacred geometry into your body, mind, and soul in whatever way. And that can be, jewelry. It could be imagery. It could be screensavers. It could be whatever. Right, everything from crop circles to imagery you see on your screen.
Yeah. So Gary, I'd like to add one more thing on that. When it comes to water, your tap water is and forever will be obliterated because of all the processing and all the chemicals that go into it. But if that's what you have, then that's what you have. And bottled water is relatively the same thing. So what I'm going to suggest is that when you have a bottle of water or a glass of water, take 1 little crystal of Himalayan sea salt and drop it in there and let it dissolve. That's going to do 2 things. 1, it's going to give you the minerals that have been depleted from the water. But it's also, because I know everybody just said, oh, I can't afford, I don't have the time to go to the bathroom that much. But what this does is it actually lets the body absorb the water instead of passing it right through you. It needs to absorb that water and utilize it. And we got on our list of live streams we're going to do one on sleep. And water is crucial to sleep. And I talk with people about this all the time. Like, oh, no, I don't want to get up in the middle of the night. I'm like, no, if you do it right, you won't. That's the whole point. So a little bit of sea salt, you can taste it, but it doesn't make the water salty. You're not going to be drinking ocean water. It's just you can just taste it just a little bit, but you'll find that it will revive you so much faster. So very, very important. And, obviously the light in your day, I mean, these are critical. And, my presentation was all about those environmental energies. It's not something you need to sit and bathe in every single day. But the more you can, the better it is. But if you've really got um, something on your mind, something that you're really trying to work through or create, go find your place and go there and spend a couple hours there. And you'll be amazed. You really will.
Yeah, so that's your stream for today, everyone. Go ahead and start your alignments. Make sure you join the group. Fill out the 3 questions. Someone had said if there's a replay, yes, there is a replay, but it's in the group. Is the easiest and best, most reliable way to get it. The link is coming on the bottom here, facebook.com/groups/the Infinity Matrix. Answer the 3 questions to get accepted, because if you don't, you get rejected. You get an opportunity to be part of the VIP. If you're not interested in being part of VIP right now, it's not mandatory, and there's no cost to it. But if you're not interested, just still fill it out and say not right now or not interested, whatever. That way the system automatically accepts you in.
Exactly.
And then starting Monday, the group is changing to a private group, so it won't be found by just extraneous people just kind of randomly searching Facebook for groups to kind of jump and troll. And then we will be starting next month doing exclusive content from time to time to members and sending out special VIP member content and gifts and that kind of stuff starting next month.
Yep.
All right. So next
Fantastic.
Thursday, we'd like to say thank you all for showing up, and we are in the deepest of gratitude that you spend this time with us every Thursday. For those that are regulars and those that chose today as your first time, we are in the deepest of gratitude as we spend this time and we explore the many ways to hack the Infinity Matrix. It really is part of our joy and our passion, and we're glad to share that with you all. Hopefully that comes across in the transmission that we do. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great week.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you so much.